All right, hey guys, look at this. Look at my face. Look at this scruff. Look at everything going on. Look how long my hair is. Been 28 days. 28 days since I have been home. I'm on my way home. I'll be home in about an hour and a half. And but we have been gone hunting for 28 days. What do we have to show for it for 28 days? 2 does. 2 does. 3 states. 3 amazing Midwest states. And 26 days or 25 days of actual hunting, and we have 2 does. Two does. How is that possible? Is that okay? What does it mean? Does it mean I suck at hunting? Does it mean I suck at shooting? Does it mean that I suck at picking places? What does it mean? How can that be? Well, first of all, you got to understand a couple of things. If you're in my Patreon channel, you see all of these vlogs. Those 26 days of, or 20, whatever it is, let's just call it 3 weeks of actual hunting, a little more than 3 weeks of actual hunting. Those will turn into probably 6, 7, or 8 vlogs, and I'll bet I'm ballparking, but I'll bet I seen 24 bucks in 24 days. Had encounters with massive deer that were absolutely huge from the ground, from tree stands, from all that kind of stuff. We had so much interaction with huge deer and big deer, but I also have some self-imposed limitations as far as 20 yards. I will not break it. I will not break it. And in that Patreon stuff, you will watch massive deer walk by at 25 yards that I will not even try to shoot at. I'm not doing it. That's my self-imposed limitations and restrictions. So, I mean, if you want to do it, that's more power to you. I will not. And you see it time and time again. Every year, I let big deer walk at 25 yards. I'm not risking it. So there was a lot of that. There was also a lot of bucks I did let pass, waiting on something bigger. And there were a whole bunch of everything kind of thing that has come into this scenario. And so, like I said, there's a lot to be learned from this kind of an experience out there. We did kill 2 does. We did have great there. One state was very bad. Okay, and when I say bad, meaning that it's the state I had the highest expectations for, and the state that I see the most big bucks in, and I did not see one antler in 5.5 days of hunting. And I do believe that particular area we are in, which is surrounded, it's all public land based around a lake, one big lake system, and it's also an area that not too far from there has got an EHD outbreak, and I'm thinking that it might be hitting there as well too, because we've been hunting there over a decade. And I've never seen less than 25 bucks a week there, and I did not see one antler at all in that whole state. So, like I said, pretty interesting scenario there. Even the place we camp at is a park, and in that park, it would not be uncommon driving in and out in the dark even, but to see 15, 20 bucks a night in that park that you cannot hunt. We saw 2 in a whole week. So there's definitely something going on there that kind of, so realistically it was 2 states, and but it's pretty interesting. But so why be so happy about 2 does? What makes those 2 does in that thing worth it? Well, the 2 does are equal. They equal 2 things. One is meat in the freezer. Okay, I have a freezer full of 2 big does in the freezer, 2 big Midwest does, probably equivalent of 3.5 Georgia does. So that's a lot of good meat in there. You know, I'm very happy with that. It also is the shot and the actual recovery experience. The 2 most valuable things that are the hardest to actually get. Nobody gets them it's the thing you don't get the most often of. Okay, you get to pick trees every single day. You get to pick a hunting spot every single day. You get to do all this stuff every day. Shooting at a live animal, we do not get to do every day, and it is one of the things that most people fail at. It is one of the things that you just can't really even practice out of. It just is what it is, and it's the hardest thing to deal with, one of the hardest things to make happen right. So those 2 does gave me shots, and shots are good, and they worked out perfectly, and both deer were dead quickly, and that was a fantastic thing, and no problems with that. Again, you'll see all this stuff in the Patreon. It also gives me chances on animal recoveries. I go on every animal recovery I can. When friends shoot an animal and they're like, hey, I need help finding this, I'm first one there because I want that experience. You can never have enough experience on tracking animals. yet we get so limited opportunity to actually do it. So it's a huge advantage for there. So those were the wins. Sorry, my camera's, here's the right word and it starts going off for my dash cam. But so it's a perfect scenario there. We also, like I said, you will see it again if you are on my Patreon when you see these vlogs. I could never be more proud of my hunting skills than I am right now. I am now a southern deer hunter. I hunt in the south where it's feed trees and things like that. I only get my 2 to 3 weeks a year in the Midwest to actually put my terrain hunting skills to the test. And I nailed it. I absolutely nailed it. Every single day, I nailed it. And it's funny because I call it out. Again, if you're in my Patreon, you see me set up. You see where I set up. I'm in a tree. I show you why I'm there, and I tell you what the deer are going to do and how it's going to do it. And boom, guess what? They do it like clockwork. And they're huge. They're huge deer. It's like, oh my God, I love this. Okay, even setting up on the ground. I mean, it's just sitting in a back seat. It's amazing how this stuff is. I've never had such a good season, even though I did not bring home any horns from the Midwest. Now, I killed 2 bucks in Georgia this year. 2 great bucks in Georgia, so I'm not complaining there either. I'm not hurting, and I still got more deer season in Georgia, and I got Alabama coming up, and I got all that, so I got zero worries on deer meat. But this Midwest trip, the adventure, the grind, the camping experience, the camaraderie with buddies. Joe was with me at my first state for week 1. John was in with me for week 3. I was by myself for week 2. You just can't beat this. The different experiences, the different states, the travel stuff, it's a whole world in its own right. Now, I will say, a month being gone is too long. Okay, it started out as a week here, and then I would come home for a week and then go to a different state for a week, and then go home for 3 weeks and go to a different state for a week. That's how I used to do it. And then I went to doing 2 weeks straight, and then, for this particular trip, making it 2 weeks straight. Then it went to 3 weeks straight. Last year was through a little over 3 weeks last year. And then it went to 4, almost a whole month this time. The month is too long. This is too much. It's too much to deal with and too long to be away, even when it comes to just dealing with normal everyday things, email stuff, keeping up with things, it's just too much. It's a pain in the butt. So I think next year we're going to change that up a little bit and go back to doing like a 2.5 week trip here, go home for a week, then go do a week somewhere else, go home for 2 weeks, then go do another week somewhere else is how I'm going to do it. So I actually extend my hunting time, but we're going to spread it out a little break in here just to make life a little bit easier. But would not trade it for anything. There will be people, if I were to post this, which I don't do much on social media anymore, but if I were to put this video on social media and say, month of hunting and only yields 2 does, oh my God, could you imagine how they would rip me apart and how I know nothing about hunting and I'm just a little baby killer and I shouldn't be doing YouTube and I ought to leave the hunting to the people that know what they're doing, and it would just be unbelievable, on and on. It'll probably be comments like that here on YouTube too. It's no different. YouTube's full of D-bags that don't have a clue about anything in life. They really don't. And no offense, and I'm not apologizing for saying that. That's probably the best word I could use to describe a lot of these guys, is a straight up D-bag. So anyway, we'll have them in here. But would I trade any part of this month-long hunting trip that I did? No. Not one bit. Do I wish I'd have brought any of those bucks home? Honestly, I don't even care. I don't even care. If you're in my Patreon, you'll see that in these videos. I'm like, I really just don't even care. I just want a legal buck. Was all I was looking for in some of these, because I don't care anymore. I have no place to put them in my house. What do I got? I got like 30-something, Europeans and mounted heads I don't have anywhere else to put any more bucks on my wall. I got that Georgia 8-point under a bin in my yard so the bugs can clean it up. I still got 2 racks hanging in my garage from last year and the year before that I'm never going to do nothing with. They're just hanging over a rafter waiting for me to do something with. I just don't care about the horns anymore. There's no value to them, and all they are to me is more work. Now I got to cape the face out and, get that done. And then I got to take my time to find that joint, cut the head off, and I got to pack the head out. And then if I'm in another state, I got to cut off the skull cap because I got to boil it out before I bring it in from any other state by law. And if I'm doing a European mount, I got to, like I said, cape out the head, scramble the goodies inside of it, get all that out of there, boil it. I carry a pan to boil it in a burner. For what? And then I'm going to throw them in a corner of my garage and never look at them or touch them again. So, again, my kind of, I mean, do I get excited when I see a buck come in? Yeah. Do I care if I shoot it? Not even a little bit. Not even remotely. Matter of fact, one of the videos we're going to make pretty soon, or I might even do it as an article for like Traditional Bowhunter or something, is going to be 2 does or 1 buck. That is going to be the title of it. And we will talk about that in detail, because I promise you this, I would much rather shoot 2 adult does than 1 5-year 120-inch deer. I promise you. You guys are rolling in your graves, kicking your feet up right now, spitting coffee on your screen, spilling stuff on your keyboard. If you can't understand it, you're not ready to understand it. There's barely no other way to put it. You're just not at that phase of life where you're ready to understand it. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with chasing big deer. Nothing at all. Nothing wrong with loving to chase big deer. Nothing wrong with any part of it. But I promise you, when I put that video out, some of you guys, you will be going, yep, I understand that 100%. And there's reasons for it. That video will be coming soon. All right. Questions, comments, and anything, put them down below. As always, thanks for watching.